Pamela Adlon is on her way in.
We'll bring her in.
I'm excited to talk to Pamela.
Yeah.
Tell her to stop.
Shut that guy up in the hallway.
Who the
Stop
fuck is talking to her?
Bring her in.
Some guy with torn up jeans. That guy's got nothing going on. Nothing
that
going
guy?
on. Yeah, who was he? Who was
Hi,
he?
Pam. How are you?
Hello, welcome.
Good to see you.
Welcome, Pamela Adlon.
You smell good.
Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
We're on.
Are you
I'm
Opie?
No, I'm Sam.
Hi.
And that's Jim. You know Jim.
I know Jimmy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. They're hugging and kissing and
He
embracing.
doesn't smell like popcorn.
He doesn't?
Thank you very much. That was a Tinkle reference. She knows.
Good. Good.
Hi.
That's Travis.
That's Travis. He's getting fired, and that's
Awesome.
Derek in the back.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been fired a lot.
Have you?
Oh God, yes.
From what?
Lots of things. Yeah, lots of TV shows and stuff.
What
Yeah.
did you get? What was the first time you got fired from a TV show?
It was probably the Red Fox show. Yeah.
You got? Did you?
I got replaced by Sinbad. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
So
totally.
then you can't probably feel too bad about yourself. You're like, maybe they were
I
going
was
for
sad
something
about
else.
it, but Jimmy, do a
Sure.
boy thing.
She handed me a little something, and I opened it
I'm
effortlessly.
so not a
little fits a
feminist. I
bottle.
like boys to do boy things. Put the bottle of water on.
So wait, the Red Fox show. How old were you when you did that? You were very young, right?
I was like 18.
And did you? How did you get that gig?
Auditioned in drag as Paul Siegel because my other name Siegel. Never should have changed my name. Big mistake. But yeah, like they wanted a boy to be Red's, like he was fostering somebody, and so all these boys auditioned to be that boy. And then I had just done a movie that I played a girl who turns into a boy. Like I grew a dick. I threw like a crystal at the moon. Seth Green sells me a crystal because he's like a little junk man. And he says, at the total eclipse of the moon, you throw this crystal and think about your deepest, darkest heart's desire. And I wake up the next day and I got a dick.
What movie was this?
It's called Something Special or Willy Millie, or I Was a Teenage Boy. It had 3 names.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
This should get a lot more credit because this was
Yeah.
way before trans was like a thing.
Absolutely, and they should sell those crystals.
I know.
You
But-
pass them out to all your
bet I would.
girlfriends.
But then I got fired from Down the Shore because I didn't, I wasn't like really sexy or sexy enough. And then, yeah, that's something special.
So when you got fired for the Red Fox show, how long did you do the show for?
I did a bunch of them. I guess, I don't know. I did like 6 or something like that. And boy, this was the 80s. There was a lot going on there. It was a little bit crazy, but yeah, I was still sad,
How'd they tell you?
They brought me into the office and they were like, we kind of can't have you on anymore because it was like, to be honest, like there was like a thing about me being a little white girl and Red being this like old black guy, and they were like afraid of like intimate spaces and things like that. And so I was like, I felt like an old black guy inside, so I thought we belonged together.
Right.
But I think that was kind of an issue, honestly.
What was he like as a guy?
He was amazing.
He was?
He was my buddy.
He was nice to you?
Oh, I loved him. I loved him a lot. I'll tell you more stories when we're not on mic.
When's the first time? When's the first time you met him? Was it during the audition or after you got the gig?
It was, I auditioned and I had bound my tits and I looked like a dude. I mean, look at me.
Oh my!
there.
Is that you in the right?
Yes.
Oh my God!
And yeah, I was just like a little dude. So, everybody thought I was a dude, and he was like, I always knew. And he was the best. So
How did they find out?
Well,
Did you do something, girl? Did you hand somebody a thing and ask them to open it? Could you open this for me? And they're like,
Oh my God, that's amazing! No, I would never.
How'd they find out?
Never. After each thing, there would always be somebody, like the casting woman, Barbara Miller knew, and like I would go in to meet Red, or I'd meet the producers, and then I would leave, and they would say, Pamela, and I would be like, shh, don't tell them I'm Pamela. We just told them. So I would walk back in the room and I just open my shirt and I have an ace bandage on my chest, and they would be like, oh my God, that's amazing.
That's the red. What are we looking at? We're looking at the
Looks like a
poster for it.
newspaper ad
That's crazy.
for the
Yeah.
Red Fox show.
Oh my God. That's Barry Van Dyke. That's Dick Van Dyke's son on the right.
The
level-
handsome dude.
Yeah.
And that's you right there, the small.
Yeah.
And there's Red.
Look, I'm a dude.
Yeah.
I am
Did
a
you-
dude.
You just wanted parts so bad at that point that it would be like whatever. If I can
You mean
pass off
roles.
as
I was just, I did want parts. I just was very comfortable in the gender bendy place. I always like identified very like in a masculine way. It doesn't matter people's perception of me, because people are always like, you're so girly, you're such a girl. But I've always been I'm comfortable in that world. So that was all great for me.
right.
And it's funny because like a couple years ago, I realized I started out doing this like crossover thing on camera and on stage. And then I ended up getting famous for it in animation.
And Bobby. It's Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
What was the
right.
boy voice you did? Do you remember when you? I mean, I know you're 18, but do you remember the voice you did when?
I was like this. I was like, Mr. Hughes. Hey, Mr. Hughes, what's up? Oh, that guy was robbing the newsstand, and I wanted to, a little bit different than that guy.
Bobby
who is
Hill.
from Orland, Texas. But yeah, just like kind of my like, I'm a boy, thing. I don't know.
Did you teach yourself to do voices because you wanted to work in show business badly, and it's like this is a tool,
No.
like, or you just did them?
Yeah, I just didn't know. I mean, I grew up like just consuming cartoons and like all of the like Bugs Bunny and Wacky Races and all of that stuff. But I never was like, I'm gonna get this voice down or anything like that. I didn't have an aspiration to do that. I just wanted to work. I just wanted to be in the business.
Right. So did you audition? Like, was that something like, okay, I want to do a cartoon voice, or you just happened to do it? You heard an audition, like, oh, I'll try this.
You mean like for
Bobby?
Oh, it was an audition. It was just like they just handed me the sides and they said, okay, he's a little 12-year-old boy from Texas. And I was like, oh, fuck, I wish I watched Badlands last night or something to get me, you know what I mean? And, and just from then on. And for that audition, one of them, Greg Daniels, was in a room and he had a bunch of sketches on a cork board, and he said, I hope you don't think I'm rude. I'm going to turn away from you and I'm going to look at the sketch as you do this. And I said, no, it's no problem. And then I went and I did I voiced to the animatic, which is like the pencil sketch.
Yep.
And then I got it. I didn't know that I was stepping into what would be like the holy grail of a situation in life.
Yeah.
Because that ran for 13 seasons. And I think it's fucking brilliant. I learned so much about writing now, my own show, and working on Louis from being a voice actor on King of the Hill, because those scripts were so brilliant.
How long would it take you to voice one episode?
For me, no time. But for them to animate it, 9 months.
One episode?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that was when it was like not all on computers and whatever.
So we would just go in and have a recording one day, and we'd be done in like 6 hours, 4 hours, whatever. Only, with like fucking around and going to the green room and everything like that. And then the animation process took 9 months.
Oh,
Did
my
you work
God.
with Mike Judge?
Oh,
Or was
yeah.
he? How is he?
Yeah, he's the best.
Is he amazing?
Oh, yeah. You would love him. He's just...
I've interviewed him on the phone, but I've never met him.
He's a brilliant, sweet, thoughtful guy. as is Greg Daniels. You know,
What's he like creatively? Like, is he telling you like this is what it needs to sound like, or is he like, here's the script, like just kind of do stuff with it?
They really got to a place where they were trusting the actors. Like we were
wow.
our own Bible for the characters, and like at a certain point, like season 9, I said, can I not say fruit pie or prop comic for 1 year? Can we just, I can put a stop to that?
Why would you say fruit pie a lot?
Because Bobby loved fruit pies, and he wanted to be a prop comic. And so, but they went into so many different areas, and I learned so much from Mike and Greg and those writers. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And your show now, Sam has seen the 3. I have not. I didn't know we had a link to it. I'm a terrible person.
Jesus.
Better Things on 10 o'clock on FX.
On Thursdays. It's a good show, and you created it with Louis, right?
Yep.
How is it also, when we're talking about
Well, I
creative
created
people,
it with my life.
Right. But how is it doing a series? Like, Louis gotten to this place, I feel like, where he gets to be like
He's
this.
God.
Yeah, exactly. He gets to
He's
dictate.
Jesus and Moses.
So then, what's he like to work with on something that's so yours? Because this is yours and your life and the whole thing.
Oh, he's the perfect person because we've known each other for 11 years.
Right.
Since Jimmy and he and I did Lucky Louie. And we should tell a story about how I rummaged to get your sweater.
I've told. I still have that. I haven't. Pam sent me the rich sweater from Lucky Louie.
No, this disgusting. You don't understand. Rick Shapiro and Jim Norton and I, like, all of a sudden, they waited 9 months, the amount of time it takes to gestate a baby and create one episode of King of the Hill. They waited that amount of time to tell us we weren't picked up.
That's right.
For Lucky Louie.
I remember walking with Louis on like 6th Avenue and him going, we still have one more shot. He talked to Robert Wool, who had said it took them a long time to find out when they were doing something.
We would call each other. Jim would call me and go, hey, what do you think? What do you think? You think we're going to get picked up? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I think so. I don't think so. I don't know. And then when it got to be like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, it would be kind of rude at this point if they didn't pick us up, right?
Right.
So then they didn't fucking pick us up. And so I was like, where's all our shit? Like, Kim and Louis, we had wedding rings on the show. I had a pair of glasses that like this optician made for me. That red leather jacket. There's the sweater.
Yeah.
Jimmy! Jim wore that disgusting sweater.
Gross brown
In
sweater.
every scene but one.
Of every episode of
Every
Lucky Louie?
episode, every scene.
Oh my God! Who's finding these? Is that you? That's killing me.
Yeah.
And also, didn't you wear a thing on your foot, like an orthopedic?
Oh, that was for real. I
That was
hurt
when you had
myself for real. That was that wasn't a character choice. That was Jim Norton stepped into a hole walking across the street.
Because you had a foot thing on your foot.
I had a foot thing on my foot.
amazing.
That's right. That was back then.
But I still have that MC5 shirt. But I went into the storage space because they said, we just threw it into storage and now it's like in general population. I'm like, Jesus, this shit should be in the Smithsonian
Right.
Institution.
You loved that show.
I loved that show.
Yeah.
But I predicted it.
We predicted what?
I said, this show is amazing. They said that we put canned laughs in.
Never.
They
Right.
had to turn it down. People went fucking crazy in the studio. And I remember you said it's like they took a crack house, they emptied it out into a bus and they brought everybody here. Sometimes we would have the craziest audiences and they'd be talking to us.
That's right.
They would
As
be
you were
screaming
shooting?
Yeah.
out. No, you didn't. No, she didn't.
And
Like
none
it's
of
a
them knew
horror
our
movie.
characters because the
Nobody.
episodes had never aired.
Of course.
So they were all learning about all of us in that moment, and they still responded.
I'm telling you, it was like the those old they would do like barn theater with like Mickey Rooney and like all of that. It felt like that.
And as somebody who's been acting since you're a little kid, Are you sitting around going like, this doesn't happen, guys?
It was, I'm telling you, it's still, I love talking about it because it was such a singular time.
Yeah.
We did 2 shows on Friday nights.
That's right. We would tape. We used to tape Thursday and Friday, and then they condensed it to Friday.
That's right. Or we did 2 shows in a row. It was nuts.
Yeah.
We started on Monday. We were off book on our feet taping on Thursdays, and it was just electric. It was electric. Ugh, that was
The
so
laughs
good.
in that studio, you know, that I remember one guy criticized that the canned laughter, the laughter's too loud. And I'm like, Louis he explained the whole sweetening process of laughter.
Yeah.
And how they sweeten it on every sitcom you've ever seen, and he wouldn't permit it. He would not allow them to sweeten a laugh.
Oh no!
So if
he
a joke
said
bombed,
they
it
would
took
have
it.
to turn it down because you couldn't hear it, and everybody's like, "That's so fucking fake," and it was
Never fake.
100% authentic.
So what was it that you predicted?
I knew that it was going to be something and be meaningful. I knew it was going to make a mark, but it would be like a blip on the radar. I knew we were too soon.
But that's what I was going to say, because it's one of those shows that, like, what's unfair about it, and somebody who wasn't on it but
Look
just
at
watched
us.
it, like, when you put the DVDs in now and just watch it back, you're like, holy shit, like, why wouldn't this show have gotten picked up?
Because
Why
the
didn't
critics
this show
killed
have
it.
a life?
We had a
Yeah.
lot of viewers, and the critics didn't like it. And it's so funny how people like Louis' success now. He got murdered for this show.
I remember.
He got fucking killed for Pootie
Oh, and
Tang.
it hurt him.
They
did.
really, he was broke after this show. Like, they really fucking beat up Louis. They
and
were
it hurt
not
his
kind.
feelings.
Yeah, they were nasty.
Yeah, Pootie Tang was really tough on him. And then this, like he had just done a pilot before that, St. Louis or something like that. But I mean, you know, he really, really tried. And this is all his vision. When we did the camera test, the director on the show was like, please tell me you're not going to shoot it on video. Please tell me you're not. And he was like, I want to shoot it on video. And people were like, that show looks like fucking shit. And it looks crazy. And it's not right. And they're not doing it right. But I mean.
And why did he want to shoot it on video?
He wanted it to feel like a Norman Lear show.
Right.
Back from that time when he
Right.
was growing up. And he had a long conversation with Norman Lear, who's one of his idols. And Norman Lear said, you don't think that I had the option of film? Of course I could have filmed my shows. But he chose to shoot his shows on video. And so it was like a warm, comforting thing.
So when Louis starts doing well, and like Louis becomes like the critic's darling, are you like at home going like, where were you guys before?
You know, it's just, things come. You know, there's a time for everything. You know, I was a newer mom when I met Jimmy, and there, my youngest was not even 2 years old, and you know, it's just there's periods, there's gestations, and you just gotta wait for things to cook, and so it's just all part of the growing and learning process, and so this put him where he is now.
Right.
Because he was allowed to fail in some respects and succeed, because to me this show was a huge success.
Yeah.
Do you see any of the people I have not seen? I bumped into Jerry Minor,
Me
who
too.
played Walter, was very funny, deadpan. I've not seen Kelly Gould,
Genius.
who I thought was so cute as a kid. And Emma Stone I've actually bumped into a few times. And,
yeah.
and she had a really nice experience playing the girl who offered Louis a blowjob. That was
right.
such an uncomfortable scene.
Did you say the line, look at the cunt that came out of that cunt's cunt? Or was that Mike Haggerty?
Mike Haggerty played her dad. So did he? I don't know. Or did Louis say that?
One of you guys.
I don't
Might have been
know.
Louis.
I don't remember saying that, but
favorite
God,
lines.
I don't know. No, that's a different one. That's God is a cunt. That's a different
Oh,
one.
that's
a totally
right.
different one.
That
Oh my
that was
God. They have all of these.
that was a different one.
That's amazing. We're
Yeah.
just looking at these YouTube. They have this screen. I'm
Mesmerized.
describing it.
What was it like? What was it like for you being there with, like, being in that? Because you had Rick and Louie and Jim, like, all together. It's this, like, you know,
And Jerry Minor.
hanging out with the comedians specifically. Like, how did you
Oh, and Laura
live in that
Keitlinger.
world.
We were all
Yes.
Keitlinger.
The comedians were the ones paranoid we were going to get fired every week. Laura told
really?
me that too. Every week, I'm like, I'm done. I hated the HBO run-throughs would happen on Wednesday. Carolyn Strauss and all of them would come, and they would never let. I fucking bombed at every HBO
it's not
executive
true.
run-through.
It's not true.
Oh, it was terrible.
It's because you're a comedian, so you came into the cold world of television, and they're all just sitting there listening and watching. So the only person who's laughing was Mike Royce because he's going, "Hey, let's get it going!"
Mike Royce.
You know, and so people don't react, and it's just like I'm so used to that, but you guys weren't. You need something coming back for you.
Yeah, that's why the live tapings were always they went really well, and it was always fun. And like we would have to do another take, and Louis would go, "What else you got for that?" Like what else? Because as a comic, he didn't like doing the same thing twice in front of the audience if he could avoid it. Mike Haggerty was a funny fucking dude too.
Genius.
The guy who
He's so
played his
good.
friend, he was really good. I haven't seen him since. I mean, I should try to keep up with him. He was such a nice dude.
Sweetheart, a sweetheart.
You have to be proud of your show now, though.
Oh, I am. I can't even believe it. It's like,
How is it super autobiographical? Is it like
it is. I mean, it's duh, it's my life. I'm a single mom, 3 daughters, English mother, lives across the street. Check, check, check.
right?
I'm an actor. I do dirty on camera things. I do animation things and everything. But then I'm able to tell other stories, like my, stories from my childhood that I can infuse into my television daughters and things like that.
How does your mom feel about being portrayed as like a crazy
She's happy to be part of the conversation.
pseudo racist? Did you see that episode?
I showed it to her,
Yeah.
and she said, "I know why you put that in there." But it's like, I mean, she never said that.
Right.
A relative of ours did say that one time, and I was like, "Oh, this is a nightmare."
What'd they say?
It's a very. I don't know if I want to spoil the punchline.
I don't want to
Oh,
spoiler
I see,
alert.
I
There's
see.
a very
Okay,
watch
yes,
the
okay.
watch
The last episode.
last week's episode with Lenny Kravitz on it.
Yeah.
It was a good one, and I was gonna say that episode did such a good job of like tackling the racial thing without beating you over the head with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you get into like a writer's room or a situation like that, people are like, why did she say that? We need an explanation. No, that's not good. We've got to make up for it over here, and we need a big payoff over here. I don't have any of that in my show, and it's the way I'm feeling and looking at things from inside. It's like the camera's inside my chest,
Right.
and you guys get to experience it from Sam's point of view.
Right. Yeah. It seems like a lot of your dialogue on the show is probably what you're thinking in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
Not that you're that like.
Yeah. And I also I wanted it to I just wanted everything to feel authentic and real, and I wanted it to be like, when I would get my actors, I would say just keep it simple. You know what I mean? You don't have to do too much. Don't look for a big button, big payoff. Let the moment lay there like a fart. I'm looking for a lot of farts. This is what I want in my show.
Yeah.
That's what I want in a relationship.
Yes.
Do you like being that creative, hands-on, or do you like having the less responsibility of just acting?
Oh, I prefer the creative.
Owning it all.
I was like, I had so much shit to learn dialogue-wise, because we were cross-boarding, which means that we were shooting like 5 episodes in 1 week, like pieces of them. So I'd be like, where am I going? What just happened? Trying to piece it all together. And I said, oh God, if we get picked up for season Toy Toy Toy, which we just did, I'm just going to react
Awesome.
to people. Thank you.
That's good.
I just don't want to have any dialogue. I just want people to talk at me and me go, I don't know, man.
But it's cool to be able to at least weigh in on the process. Because whenever you're shooting something, there's got to be that thing like, ugh, I wish they were doing this and not that. And when it's yours, they're going to do this and they're going to do what you want.
Oh, it's incredible because I could just go, you know what? I don't believe in this. I just changed my mind. Come here, Luke, and I'll take my camera guy and I say, just put the camera over here and then we could shoot over here. And I want you to say this and I don't want you to say that. And I want you to say her line here. And there's no ego and there's no preciousness and there's no fucking focus group.
Yeah.
Oh, the focus groups always help.
You think so? You like to
they're
hear 'em?
terrific.
Yeah,
they always
yeah.
know what's funny.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with them before?
Yeah, I mean, the first focus groups that I've ever dealt with were when I was a room parent, like in school, and like 15 people are on an email, and it's just like, that sounds great. I'll bring banana pie. I think we should use the money for a vacuum cleaner in the classroom. And I just, every time I get an email with more than one person on it, I just reply to one person. Reply all is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in a process when you're making a show, and that's why working on FX is so great because they do not focus group you to death.
And it's also it's called Better Things, and it's on Thursdays at 10 o'clock.
And by the way, if you have the FX app, that's how I watched it. If you got the app on Apple TV or whatever, you can watch all the episodes.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
So, I mean, the 3 that have aired, not
Yeah.
the whole season, but
Cool.
yeah, it's a good show. And
Thank you.
I would check it out. We're getting out of here.
Oh, yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Our
It
show's
is
done.
Our show's done. So
Cool.
watch Better Things Thursday at 10 p.m. Thank you, Pamela.
And at
Thank you,
Pamela
guys.
Adlon on Twitter. I'm so happy to see you. I wish we had you
Me
for
too.
longer. It's good.
This is
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. This
I'm
is
so
great.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I love this.
You
Yeah,
could-
it's
you-
just fun.
You throw it back. Like if she says, "I'm so proud of you," don't just say thank you. Say, "Well, I'm
No,
proud of you
it's
too."
okay.
No, because she's
No.
doing. Pam's got her own show. She doesn't need. She's just. She's proud of me for talking to you. She's
I'm
being
a
nice.
monster.
So you're just taking
I'm a
the
fucking-
condescension.
She's being nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
She's a lovely person. She's having a lovely person.
Well, that is lovely. Thank you all.
We have to take a picture.
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, we
at
will.
8
Oh,
a.m.
you're still on the thing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All
watch
right.
Pamela's show. She's awesome.